Hello, we're going to go through updating the Shield master, remote, and communicator firmware. Here I have the master with the communicator inside wired up through a switch to the PC and a remote, and actually a few other remotes tied onto the bus. First thing we're going to do is go to the Dropbox link that you were emailed. And in this link, you would have this, and there's a folder called Firmware Current. So click on that, and we're going to get the latest firmware for the dialer or communicator, the touch screen, the 3.5-inch touch screen, and the speaker. So we're going to download those, and I'm going to save it right to this desktop folder where we have most of the other stuff. We'll save that, and then we can get that out of the way. So we'll open this folder. We'll expand everything here. And we don't need it in a separate folder. We'll just expand it like that and extract. So there's our files, and I'm going to get rid of that download just to keep things neat. So next step, we're going to open the download program. Put that on this screen. So first thing we're going to do is the command panel. So we'll go to the configuration menu. Make sure this is on 1.90 or 192.168.1.90. We don't need any of the 485 checked, and we'll just say OK. We'll put in our 5.3 password, hit connect, right? Our text turns red. We can get versions. You can see this is an older version than the firmware we just downloaded. So we're going to use the download firmware button. We're going to browse to the firmware here, and we'll do touchscreen 3.5 and open. And we need to change the firmware code to 181999. Hit OK. It's going to ask for a checksum. Hit OK. Now this is going to download to the command panel, and it's going to increment through all the packets. This process for the command panel takes about a minute. Then it's going to stop. It'll give us a download successfully completed. Hit close, and the command panel is going to reset. We're going to hit the disconnect button here to make sure the computer disconnects. During this time, it's writing to internal flash. So don't power down. Let it restart. I'm going to open the door here. So now we have our command panel restarted. Now if we connect and then say get version, now we have 2.45. Great. Next thing, so we're going to look at the devices on here. So we're going to go to Explore Devices. I'm going to go to Start Scan. So all of these speakers, that one, so 11's at 1.49. 13, 14. So we've got a few to go do. There is an option to broadcast. So we're going to broadcast and try to update all the other remotes at the same time. So we can close this. We're going to hit disconnect because we need to reconnect and connect to the 485 node. So we're going to leave our IP address. We're going to start with node 11, and we're going to check send broadcast with node. I'm going to say OK here. We're going to say connect. Basically the same process. We're going to go download firmware. We're going to browse to the speaker simplex. Hit open. Same firmware code 181999. And we're going to hit OK. We're going to go checksum. That's fine. This download is going to be a little bit, it's going to go slower. It's not as big as of a file, but it's going to go slower than the master because it's now sending over IP to the master and then over 485 to the remotes. This one takes probably a little bit under a minute, right about there to complete. We'll get the same thing, download successfully completed, and we'll hit close. We're not going to get the same feedback here though. When that downloads to the remote, it's not, you're not going to get the same reset here. The remote is resetting. So if we went into Explore Devices and hit Start Scan, Whoops, we're not connected. Sorry. Disconnect. Connect. Start scan. Right, this will give all of these remotes. Oh, and it already did. So it went that quick. And see now pretty much everything is up to date at 1.54. If there was any of these that didn't update for any reason, you would follow the same process as updating the master. So when you connect, if you were just updating one, you would just send RS-485 node and plug in the specific address of the remote. So lastly, we have to update the dialer. So again, we'll make sure we're disconnected, go to configuration menu, and we're going to change the IP address to 100. We're going to uncheck any 485 and say OK. All right, now we're connected to the communicator. We can get version again. And see, we're at 2.37. So that's less than what we have here. So we'll go to download firmware, browse to the dialer, and 2.41 here. Open, same firmware code 181999. Hit OK. Hit OK. And this is going to go through the exact same process of downloading all the packets to the device. This takes a little bit less time than the master, but roughly the same process. Download successful, system reboots. And if we had the cover open, you'd see the LEDs on the communicator go solid as it writes to flash. Again, don't power down during this time until it comes back online. If you're not, can't see the dialer, just wait until you can connect to it again. This will probably take about 15, 20 seconds. I can already connect again. Get version, and we're at 2.41. So that's it. That's all we need to do to update the firmware. Last thing, when updating firmware, I do suggest to download your most recent system and dialer config, just to make sure nothing got messed up with your phone number, just to make sure that everything went smoothly. And that's it.